I'm not a fan of hers. And I would say this, and she probably has heard that, but I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it.
He's, if I can use that term, he's pussy whipped.
He's very weak. He's under the lash, if you like.
Because he's pathetic.
Meghan Markle wants to run for president.
Mr. Reagan.
So Meghan Markle wants to run for president. No joke. I'm going to do a full Meghan Markle breakdown in one moment, but first I have to sell you something. New studies show that by the time people reach their middle age, the body often produces less than half the collagen it did in their youth. Collagen is the main building block in our skin, making up 70 to 80% of it, and that's why we get sagging skin and we wrinkle as we age. Now, if you want to look younger, you've got to supplement with collagen. Supplementing with collagen, it will improve your skin's elasticity. It makes it smoother, more plump, and more youthful looking. But the right type of collagen is difficult, if not downright impossible, to get in your typical diet or in a typical supplement. You risk ingesting dangerous ingredients or wasting money on a diet that doesn't truly combat aging. And that's why I highly recommend healthwithreagan.com. This ageless multi-collagen is a powerhouse of the right ingredients to improve your youthful appearance very quickly and very effectively. Get my favorite multi-collagen for 51% off today by going to healthwithreagan.com or by clicking the link in the description below. A lot of people hate Meghan Markle. Now, I've watched a few episodes of Suits, the television show that she starred in, and I mean, I wasn't a huge fan, but I mean, it was a good show. I didn't hate it. I kind of related to the douchey main character, and I always thought that Meghan Markle was just the kind of girl that a lonely guy sitting in his apartment eating ramen, binge-watching Suits on his laptop might just fall in love with.
Mike Ross? Hi. I'm Rachel Zane. I'll be giving you your orientation.
Wow, you're pretty.
Good. You've hit on me. We can get it out of the way that I'm not interested.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't hitting on you.
Trust me.
I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was hitting on you.
You were. Take notes. I'm not going to repeat myself.
I love you.
I had a close friend who used to do this all the time. He fell in love with female characters on TV shows and in movies. It was pretty funny. We actually ran into one of those actresses in a bar in Santa Monica once, and he actually tried to run away, but I didn't let him. I forced him back into the bar, and we went back in, and I very politely accosted the girl, and we had a nice chat for about 10 minutes. It was probably the best 10 minutes of that guy's life. It was fantastic. But she was not Meghan Markle. It was a different girl, but it was a Meghan Markle type, or at least a Rachel Zane type. Rachel Zane is the character that Meghan Markle played on the show Suits. And I did have to look that up, but that's apparently the name of the girl in the show. But that's the tricky thing about falling in love with TV characters. They're not really the same person as the actor who plays them. Sometimes they're close. The girl that we met in the bar was actually truly a phenomenal person. I mean, at least for the 10 minutes that I talked to her, she had all the charisma and sweetness that you would expect from the characters she played on TV and in the movies. And now I do remember guys being enamored with the Rachel Zane character back when Suits was on the air, but I couldn't get a hold of my friend to confirm whether or not he personally had become infatuated with the character. But why did this happen? Why does this happen? Why does Rachel Zane, the character from the show, inspire men to fall in love with her? Well, I haven't seen much of the show, but she's obviously beautiful, but not like so blindingly beautiful that men lose the ability to speak in front of her or anything like that. I mean, some guys would for sure, but she's more like the most beautiful girl at your high school. And part of this is to do with her demeanor on the show. She's confident, but she can laugh at a joke. In other words, she's borderline unattainable, but still guys think under the right circumstances, I think I could get her. She's what you would call the girl next door type. She's also very charming, very well-spoken, funny, and she has a good heart. She's basically all the things that a guy wants in a girl. And I mean, of course she is. She's an amalgamation of the natural beauty, charm, and intelligence of the actress, as well as the romantic fantasies of a team of Hollywood writers, as well as, a bunch of top-tier hair and makeup artists, and a spare-no-expense wardrobe department. So is Meghan Markle anything like the character she plays on the show? Honestly, I have no idea. Maybe she is. I don't know. I don't know her, and neither do any of you. So as much as people really do hate her, it's not entirely warranted. That said, there are valid reasons why she infuriates the out of a lot of people. For one thing, she seems to have a massive lack of respect for British tradition. She flouts the rules and she ignores protocol. She's done this many times.
Meghan Markle has reportedly chosen to break tradition.
This royal couple is trying to break tradition a bit and forge their own path.
The royal couple is bucking recent tradition.
When Harry and Meghan decided to ditch with decades of tradition, it did raise a few eyebrows.
Now, the royal family seem to hate her, and this, I think, is why. I mean, you have to respect the values and customs of your in-laws. It's crazy not to. If I married a Jewish girl and I went to her family home for Jewish holidays and I refused to wear a yarmulke despite, insistence from the family, I have to expect that they're going to be annoyed by this. I'm unnecessarily causing friction. And I mean, actually, that's a bad example because, maybe I'm doing that because I have some religious conviction against it. I'm compelled not to do it. But there's no religious conviction compelling Meghan Markle not to wear a name tag at a royal function. She's just being difficult. Another thing that people seem to hate is that people think that Meghan has made Harry her bitch. And there are actually quite a few clips on the internet to this effect. Actually, when I try to find the clips for this, they were really hard to find. Somehow, I guess the royal family has a lot of influence here. They have scrubbed the internet. You cannot find these clips. It's very, very difficult. So yeah, people think that Harry is whipped and Meghan is domineering. But there are obviously worse things than not respecting British tradition or pulling Harry around. And I think this next thing is what really pushed a lot of people's buttons. After becoming a princess, essentially entering into a marriage that ensured she would live in absolute luxury for the rest of her life, paid for, by the way, by the British taxpayer, after getting all those things most women, by the way, could only ever dream of, she claimed that she was some kind of victim.
But I don't know what the impact on your physical and mental health of all the pressure that you clearly feel under.
Yeah, well, I guess, and also thank you for asking, because not many people have asked if I'm okay, but it's a very real thing to be going through behind the scenes.
And the answer is, would it be fair to say not really okay, as in it's really been a struggle?
Yes.
Now, there are drawbacks to being that famous, definitely. And there are drawbacks to being royalty. I think it's a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of boring functions you're expected to show up at. Your whole life is essentially dedicated to being polite and respectful. And I'm not sure I'd want to do that, and obviously she doesn't either. And so, okay, if you don't want to live that life, I respect your decision to leave royal life. But don't frickin' complain about it. For crying out loud. You're beautiful. You're a famous actress. You just married into one of the wealthiest, most adored families in the world. Brand Finance has estimated the value of the British monarchy at $88 billion. Now, that's kind of an odd figure because I think it factors in the money generated by like royal family memorabilia, tourism, stuff like that. So it's not like Meghan Markle would be diving into a Scrooge McDuck-style money bin filled with $88 billion. But still, I imagine that kind of value comes with a lot of perks. This is not a life that most people will sympathize with you for complaining about. Meghan and Harry did, as we all know, leave the royal life, and now they're just poor suckers like the rest of us. It's speculated that the couple are worth a measly $100 million since they made the deal with Netflix. So, and I don't even know what they're supposed to be doing with Netflix. I guess they're producers or something. But anyway, they're now just everyday schlubs like the rest of us. No royal titles, tough life to lead. But look, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about my life. I love my life. I love it. I love my job. I've got a great girl that I'm crazy about. I've got a super annoying but beautiful cat. I've got a great family back home in Oregon, and I definitely do not have $100 million, or at least not yet. So now Meghan and Harry live simple, ordinary, everyday lives with their $100 million. And everybody hates Meghan for making Harry her bitch, or at least that's how people perceive them. And I'm not going to cast judgment myself. A lot of you might be like, stop being a bitch. Just tell us what you think. But that is what I think. I genuinely don't like to cast aspersions about people that I don't know very well, except Nancy Pelosi. I'll make an exception for her. But actually, this brings up a serious point. We can give celebrities the benefit of the doubt. Are the Kardashians nice people or are they total degenerates? Who cares? How does that really impact my life? I mean, aside from elevating or degenerating the culture, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. I can presume innocence and I can go on with my life. However, politicians are another story. Politicians we must judge because they have a lot of power over us. We must determine whether or not we think they're moral or rational or intelligent or whatever. We have to make these kinds of assessments and we must criticize and commend them, and we must debate this stuff with our friends and relatives at Christmas. And so this brings us to the entire point of the video. Meghan Markle apparently now wants to run for president. This is not a joke. This is real. According to a publication called Page 6, Meghan harbors serious ambitions to run for president of the United States. A friend of hers reportedly told Page 6 that one of the reasons she was so keen not to give up her American citizenship was so she had the option to go into politics. And I mean, I don't have the same kind of resentment as other people might have toward the girl, but I do resent one thing about her, and that's probably the thing that actually most people really hate her for. Her politics are really annoying. She made a video recently basically endorsing Joe Biden, or rather, endorsing not Trump.
Every 4 years, we are told the same thing, that this is the most important election of our lifetime. But this one is.
As we approach this November, it's vital that we reject hate speech, misinformation, and online negativity.
So as we work to reimagine the world around us, let's challenge ourselves to build communities of compassion.
So then Trump came out with this.
I'm not a fan of hers. And I would say this, and she probably has heard that, but I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it.
I just love that. I mean, again, I don't hate the girl like many other people do, but that was pretty funny. And Markle has made a number of other political statements that many find off-putting, including myself. She's a supporter of Black Lives Matter, which is unbelievably annoying.
George Floyd's life mattered, and Breonna Taylor's life mattered, and Philando Castile's life mattered, and Tamir Rice's life mattered. So I am sorry that in a way we have not gotten the world to the place that you deserve it to be. I know you know that Black Lives Matter. Now you get to be part of rebuilding. And I know sometimes people say, how many times do we need to rebuild? Well, you know what? We are going to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild until it is rebuilt. Because when the foundation is broken, so are we.
She even pitched a film to Netflix about the founder of Black Lives Matter, Patrisse Cullors, which is even more annoying because I've researched this woman and she's a total racist. And look, the thing that bothers me about support for Black Lives Matter by anyone is just their sheer ignorance. I mean, Black Lives Matter is a racist organization, the stated purpose of which is the destruction of Western civilization, which they refer to as imperialist. And they've duped all these celebrities and corporations into supporting them. And so this woman, Meghan Markle, she's supporting this group. Now, does she believe in the Marxist, racist ideals of Black Lives Matter? No, I don't think so. But the fact that she's embraced them indicates that she's utterly ignorant of the reality of that organization. But I mean, she does want to do a documentary about the girl who started the group, a racist Marxist lesbian, so she must know something about it. And if she does know about it, then I think her support of it is even worse. All right, well, I don't want to get too much into Black Lives Matter because I'm doing a whole video about them also. But another annoying thing about ordinary person Meghan Markle is that she considers herself a feminist. Of course she does. But more revolting, Harry apparently considers himself a feminist too. And that, I think, says quite a lot. Okay, so this isn't actually terribly different than most leftist politicians in the US. They all seem to support Black Lives Matter, they all seem to call themselves feminists, and they're all super annoying. So Meghan fits right in with that group, I guess. So maybe she could be a politician. Maybe she could even be president. You know, one thing that I thought was kind of funny about Meghan Markle is that when it was announced that she'd be marrying Harry, now I watch a lot of British television and all of the British celebrities were like, oh, she's amazing. They were just gushing over her, you know. And I didn't really understand why until I realized she's black. It's because she's half black. That's why they were going crazy. And that's kind of funny thing too. I didn't know that she was black. I didn't know she was black until some British comedian mentioned it. And it's so funny because basically it gave her this like layer of protection early on. Like, you can't make fun of Meghan Markle. She's black. But then it got even actually worse because there were all these accusations of racism or sexism anytime she was criticized, which is ridiculous.
I think it's very unfair to say that criticism is actually racism, because of course it is not.
I mean, but that was very helpful to her. She had this armor, this immunity to everything. So, maybe that'll help her here too if she ran for office. Democrats love their identity politics. But the thing is, Meghan Markle is culturally white. She doesn't seem black at all.
Research is as much art as science, so we're going to look at privacy and harassment law, see if we can find a combination of cases to make an argument. I'll take privacy.
And like I said, I didn't even know she was black until it was explained to me. So no, I don't actually think it's going to help her all that much. But here is the real hurdle to her getting into politics. Meghan Markle has very thin skin. If you become a member of the royal family of Britain and you can't handle the pressure of living the most pampered lifestyle imaginable because of the paparazzi attention, how could you possibly deal with the trials of political life? I mean, if she were a congressman or a senator from like a very leftist region, with zero competition, then sure, she could succeed there. But president? She would get slaughtered. And again, this isn't a judgment on her character. She may be a lovely person, one-on-one, But I think when most people hear that Meghan Markle is considering running for president, what they think is total joke. All right, well, that's it for me. It's not that our liberal friends are ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. Good night.
We have so many people who can't see a fat man standing beside a thin one without coming to the conclusion the fat man got that way by taking advantage of the thin one. The trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. Now,